Yo, JD here, Tyrannos, and as you can see, we are back on F1 2020 here today, and you can see by the title, we are going to jump straight into the brand new track for this year, along with Zandvoort, and I think that's the only two that are brand new, isn't it? But we're going to jump into this, and this is a little bit, it's a little bit heart-racing because I haven't watched anyone else's videos. I have not done this track whatsoever. I have zero idea on what the layout is going to be, and I purposely did that because I wanted to give you a true perspective on what it's like to learn a brand new track. And as I said, hand on heart, I've not seen a single lap around this track, so I have no idea if the first turn's a left-hander, a right-hander. I have no idea on this layout, and I really wanted to make it as difficult as I possibly could. So we're just going to jump in the Red Bull with no setup. We're not going to run a setup here today, and literally show you how it goes, what my thoughts are, and everything like that. So going into this first corner, I'm completely just looking at the mini-map at this point in time. I'm not even looking at my steering wheel or my actual car or anything at all. I'm completely just looking, and you can see, I think if that isn't enough proof that I don't know where the track is going, then I don't know what is. We go straight on and we just get buried into the barrier. So we try again, we restart, and I'm just completely looking at the left hand side. Zero idea where to go. This is very, very weird for me because the last time I learnt a brand new track was Paul Ricard, and I felt I got used to that pretty quickly, and I think that was on 2018, wasn't it, when that track was introduced. Again, I didn't really watch that much footage of the track, so when I first did the time trial for that, I was completely lost, but I felt I got up to speed pretty quickly. But the lap time to aim for, I think Ben, team at Wild, that's on a 1:34.8, and then I Contrast as on a 1:34.3 with setups though. And I found with setups in this game, it gives me a good half a second or so when I've actually put one on myself. So if I could get into the 35s, mid 35s of this car with no setup, I'd be pretty happy with that. And you can see this is the furthest I've got so far in the lap here. And where do you brake at the end of this straight? We have no idea, and we just go completely straight on. And the first thing that struck me is it's so hard to pick a braking point with the brake marker boards. You can see the brake marker boards are there, the red signs on the left hand side going to that corner, but this section here is just, it was nuts. When I was first going through this, you can see how slow I'm going, and the way I'm approaching this right now is that I tried to go in pretty quick my first attempt, but now I'm literally just chill for a lap and literally just drive around like I'm a safety car and just learn the layout first. Don't even worry about the braking points or the traction results. And that is a 1:42.0, which is about 8 seconds off. About 8 seconds off where I want to be going, and hitting the curb, losing the car straight away. And I knew this was going to be a tough ride. I don't think the track is difficult from looking at the layout now, but it's quite daunting. It's very hard to pick out the braking zones. So going to here again, you have that black box and everything. We're going a little bit deep, using second gear, and that is a potential wall riding zone. I can see it in time trial. There's going to be plenty of people using that to get a slingshot come off this main straight. I really hope that invalidates your lap when you do that. I probably should have tried it then, but I didn't really want to showcase it in case it did. But it's pretty daunting so far, and I definitely feel that this is a lot harder to get used to than Paul Ricard when I first initially did that, because you can just see the corners. You can see them coming so much easier, whereas here, this is a street circuit, especially in the last sector. You have those blind oncoming corners. You have multiple free corners that are just completely blind, which we're just about to enter now. It's so hard to know where you're going. If you look at the minimap, you just don't have time to react at all. You see a series of blind corner after blind corner. You just can't see where you're going, whereas other tracks, when you're learning them, and you can normally see the apex quite a while before you actually need to do anything with your brake. It's Not an easy track to learn, I would say, and you can see by the lap time straight away. What did we do there? We did a 39. No, that's still 4 and a bit seconds away from where I really ideally want to be aiming. And yeah, this is showing you that, again, going straight on. I think this is showing you again that despite the top times you see in the leaderboard, and one thing I noticed there is that I didn't get an invalidation when coming back on the track, which was a little bit concerning. But the thing I want to show you is that although you see in the leaderboards the top times, and when I do my world records video attempts, and I won't spoil it for you, but at the end of this video you can see the improvement that I do. I think this is just showing you, it's never easy. You have to be very, very persistent at all times, and you can't get frustrated from the word go. You can't expect to be even within a second or 2 seconds of a world record in the first 10 laps. And this time we started to realise where the breaking point was, at least for the end of the straight, and I felt it was just before the curb finishes. So that's something I put into my mind. But again, I really want this to really motivate people that if you're really struggling with the track, even if you know the layout, and not like this where it's a completely brand new layout, even if you know it, it takes time to get a good time in, and sometimes I feel like you can't improve or anything at all. And that's how I was feeling right now, and you can see my driving is very, very rusty. Haven't been on this in a while, and with this, it's it was quite embarrassing to actually watching this. It was really, really embarrassing. But again, I want to show this to people. I want to show not when I just have good results or when I'm driving fast, but when I'm struggling as well, because this is normal. This is normal. People who get world records, they struggle at first when they're trying to learn a track or when they're trying to achieve that top lap time. When you first go on something, you're not going to be within a second or 2 seconds. It's some people, if you're an alien like Rasmussen or something like that, then I'm sure could probably get within the world record within 10 laps, something like that. I wouldn't put it past him. But I think for the average person, and even for people who are just very good at the game, it takes time, and you just have to be patient. Patience is absolute key, and just don't have those unreal expectations from the get-go. You just have to build it up slowly, and that's what I do when I approach a track. I learn from little bits from the lap before. What I'm learning now is to brake before the curb at the end of that straight, not to run on that curb on the exit. If you do that, that really hinders you. And you can see we're making slow progress. And like I do in my world record videos, you hit a lap time where you thought you couldn't hit it, and then once you hit it, you'll find yourself being able to do that lap time all the time, and then you just very, very slowly increase. Just improve, make those very, very small improvements, sometimes by a tenth, sometimes per lap. But if you do enough laps, it adds up, and then throughout time, or throughout the duration of the session, you'll find just making those micro adjustments per corner. If you just make a half a tenth gain per corner, then you're going to gain over a second or something like that. So that's what you can do here, and that's what I feel when I'm learning tracks or just trying to improve on the previous lap. I always visualize, mainly focus on one or two corners because you get an invalidation from hitting the wall there. But I mainly just focus on just improving on one certain corner rather than just the entire track. And I make sure next lap that I definitely attack it better or just hit it better rather than just try and go all out. I'll make sure I really just focus on one particular area of the track. And then once I feel I've mastered that, as you can see, we're making another mistake. So this is the thing with this track. It's so hard to see the braking zone. So hard to see the braking zone. And I don't know what lap time we've done there. But I was really struggling to know where to brake. The lines, not the lines, but just how much speed to take. So I decided to put on Ben's Ghost. And this is something I recommend as well. If you're really struggling, instead of using the minimap, because I was still using the minimap at this point, because I still didn't know where I was going, I would recommend putting on the Ghost of someone who's faster than you and basically just follow them. And you can see straight away the improvement we've made. We've made such an insane improvement already, and that is just purely having something to chase. and I feel that is very, very important. I don't typically do that when I do my world record videos because I already know the layout and I find it more of a distraction. But I think if you're learning a brand new track, I think making sure you put on a ghost that's not 4 seconds faster than you or something, but maybe one that's a second faster than you. If you can gain those 2-3 tenths per sector, it really will give you the confidence and it really will ease you into what you really have to do, where you have to brake, where to accelerate. I find that is extremely useful. And for me, you can see, look at the lap time. We're 1.2 seconds up and we're still driving very, very rusty. Still don't know where I'm going. But I found it incredibly, incredibly useful. And as for the track itself, it's got quite a nice flow to it. I know a lot of people say they don't like it, but especially the last sector. Last sector's got a really, really nice flow to it, but it feels quite tough to me. And people might disagree, but as I said before, I find it really, really hard to spot the braking zones. Like this turn 1 is no issue, it's fine, but you don't want to run on the curbs. Like here, try and avoid that curb as much as you can. This is very difficult because you've got the pit lane exit coming out, easy invalidation, and it just kind of really confuses you a bit to know where the actual line is. But then over time, you will naturally get that. And if you can really get a good slingshot off this corner, then you're just going to carry so much momentum down that straight. But I quite like these 2 last corners and the last sector. The straights are extremely long. You can see by not hitting the wall, the improvement we have made. I can't quite see what that improvement is, but we gained a lot of time. And yeah, it feels very, very low grip, this track as well. And especially this sector, it feels like there's just so much understeer. And I don't know if that's the car or just obviously because there's no setup or anything at all. But it feels like if you just go on the power too much, the front end will just really want to wash away from you. There'll just be an insane amount of understeer. That's what I was finding. If you go on the throttle too hard, the front end just won't bite and it will just really, really, really go away from you. So it's all about the traction, all about the exit, and that's what I feel it is about this game. It's about just getting the maximum exit. It's more important to get a better exit than to carry the speed and then get understeer. I think it's going to be much more beneficial to be very late on the brakes, stop the car, point, turn, and then get on the throttle. And you can see coming out through here, get on that curb, but that's really, really don't want to get on that curb. You just lose so much time once you do that. And going into this corner, pretty tricky corner, and then through this section I was just getting a lot more confident, going through here, going to hold it in 6th gear, 5th gear again, then go down, sacrifice this corner. Ideally is what you want to make it very, very, make it a better line going to here, but still you can still see that we're definitely nowhere near the potential that I feel I could do. The only corners I felt I could do pretty well was the last corner, first corner, and at the end of the second massive straight. And the one that has, I think it has DRS. Yeah, it does have DRS. There's 2 DRS zones around here. One of them going through here on this little pit straight, which I feel is a bit unnecessary. I don't think you're going to see much overtaking going into this one. But I would say if you had it on the 2 big straights, it would just be too powerful. And I think now this is a better lap that I'm doing. You can see definitely a lot more committed through there, and pretty good exit, only just a bit up. But you can see the Ferrari bends using default setup as well. You can just see how fast it is in a straight line, braking about 100 meter board, slow in, fast out, take a nice wide line, 2nd gear to get the extra rotation through there, and then use the slingshot method. You can see we actually get a better exit and bend coming off there. And then I was slowly starting to realise how to attack all these corners, and again it's just a time thing. You can see I've done about 13 completed laps here, so it takes time. It takes complete time. This corner went a little bit deep this time, making sure I'm not on that curb, and you can see by just avoiding that curb how much we were up, or how much we gained on that delta. Going to this corner, as the curb starts, that's where you want to be turning in 3rd gear. And then I really do like the sequence of corners. Definitely no opportunities for overtaking through here. I think there was no opportunities to overtake in this last sector unless someone makes a catastrophic error. no, maybe into this corner, but with the dirty air, if there is any dirty air in this game, I think it's going to be so difficult. Coming off this corner, getting the DRS again, don't think there's going to be much overtaking to here. And that's a 35.3, so no, not too far away from the Ferraris now. I think iContrast has done a 34.3 in the Ferrari with a setup, but Ben's done a 34.8. And you can see, still gaining a bit more time. And then once you hit those lap times, as I said before, you will find yourself just being able to hit those times because you've already proven to yourself that you can actually do it. So he's still not optimal through here. I don't think you really need to hit the apex through there. Coming off this last corner, getting a better run this time, and you can see another 35. I think there's a 35.4. So once you hit that lap time where you thought you couldn't achieve, you will definitely just find yourself being a lot more consistent. But if you hit the curb, it's all over. So first impressions is I actually don't mind driving the track. It actually feels quite good. I think it depends how OP the DRS is and how the dirty air actually works in this game. I think that's going to be a really big factor. But no, it feels quite satisfying. And again, some people may say it's simple, but I think with the braking points and just the level of grip that the track is offering me at the moment, it's pretty hard to hook up a good lap because you have to brake as late as you possibly can. If you don't, you are just going to be throwing away so much lap time. And if you get a bad exit onto like one of these straights here where we get the DRS, you could lose 2 tenths on an exit if you just get some poor momentum. So it is crucial that you brake as late as you can, stop the car and get the best exit as possible. I think that is more important than carrying outright apex speed on this track. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very interesting layout. But we'll have to see. In terms of racing, again, it all depends on just the dirty air and everything like that. And coming across the line here, you can see we're getting kind of close to what we did in the Red Bull, but now after a few laps we started to improve because the straight line speed in this Ferrari is just so much more superior. But in the corners it was a lot more understeery than the Red Bull that I found, but it just felt a lot more stable as well. At the same time, you can see making an improvement here, going through this last corner. I really wish it would punish you a lot more if you hit the wall there, because sometimes it invalidates you, sometimes it doesn't. So I really hope that kind of gets fixed when the game comes out. But coming across the line here, I think this is going to be my fastest lap. So braking very late into this first corner, second gear, first gear for the extra rotation, avoiding this curb, and then revving it out completely in third gear, going up into fourth as the white part of the track finishes. Actually turning in point, short shifting into fourth gear just to maximise the traction come up here. And you can see how much time we have gained up, and we've already done I think a 34.7 with default setup here. As you hit the black box, actually turning in point, make sure to hit both of these curves. First gear again, going up into second, then into third, then back down into second and up through the gears and getting on the DRS. And you can see again about 2.5 tenths up going into this corner. Now you have to just thread the car through the straight and make sure you pick the braking point perfectly just before the curb starts on the right hand side. That is where I'm looking. So just before that, about 10 meters before that, first gear here, avoid as much of the curb as you can on the exit, gives you a much better exit. Lost a little bit of time though. 7th gear, as the curb starts, that is your braking point. Try and just kiss this curb and then go completely flat out all the way up into 6th gear. As the car's straight, that is when you go down again. 5th gear, really committed for this right-hander. Again, want to sacrifice a bit of speed to open yourself up for the next right-hander. 5th gear, braking completely in a straight line. 2nd gear, then 3rd gear, and then just before the black box, that is your turning in point. Try and avoid the wall on the outside, get the DRS, and now we have done a 34.3, which is beats Ben, slightly behind iContrast, but again, I found with a setup you would gain quite a bit of time, especially through the downforce, the really high speed areas of the track. I think you'd be gaining the most time. So I was pretty happy with that lap, and overall that was my experience of learning this track, and it was a very difficult one. Let me know what you think of this track. Do you think it's going to be any good for racing? How do you like the layout? Again, thank you so much for supporting my channel. It's been insane, and I'll catch you very, very soon. Peace.